话都不固定的话，
因为就是你的不是会要这样子弯来弯去嘛？你那个VDD 不是就要一直弯来弯去，不是高度不同，那它去的那个就会就要比较多的晶片的空间。
Okay, any question? 有问题？到目前为止。So that is the layout for inverter. The left part is the inverter without the substrate tag, wear tag. And if you include the wear tag and substrate tag, then there's a breadboard here. This breadboard is the connect the ground wire, goes deep to the substrate, such that substrate can have voltage 0, alright? And the wear tag is a hole to connect the wire, the metal going down, connect to the wire, such that wire can have voltage, high voltage or signal 1 to make the transistor work. So can you see the circuit here? The polysilicon, the input, and VDD here, ground here, and this is a transistor, PMOS transistor, right? MOS transistor. When the polysilicon crossing the diffusion on the top, this is the transistor. So where the channel here? Where the channel in the MOS transistor? The channel is here. Beneath the polysilicon, okay? The diffusion there. Look at the circuit. This is the circuit. VDD, the ground, the input is output 1. The corresponding circuit. So you should be able to tell which signal is where, right? VDD where, ground where, the tag, and the MOS transistor here. A is the input signal, polysilicon, causing the diffusion beneath. Okay? And according to design rule, it has to be over the edge because the inaccuracy of the manufacturing process, it has to be over, otherwise you just cut it right there because the inaccuracy of the manufacturing probably not enough to cover the diffusion. Okay? That's why typically it's over. And then the contact connecting metal ground with the diffusion. The upper signal, again, metal connecting to drain terminal. The source terminal, drain terminal, the PMOS transistor. Again, the channel is the source neutral. Okay, any question? How about 3 input NAND gate? This is the layout. Can you see that? Can you look at the layout and reason that this is the 3 input NAND gate? Why? Why 3 input NAND gate look like this? again is VDD ground, the power way. And you compare with the circuit, 3 input names, so 3 MO transistor in series in the product network, and 3 PMOS transistor in the product network in parallel. Okay, look at this. Right? 3 MO transistor in series. You simply use the same diffusion layer. This MO transistor is this one. This MO transistor is this one. This MO transistor is this one. You see that? Your diffusion layer is also conductor. So that's why we can simply this one, this one, this one. You don't need to have metal to connect to transistor. No, you don't have to. The same diffusion can still simply connect. How about PMOS transistor? Why the layer look like this? Why this layout implies they are connected in parallel? Can you see that? PMOS transistor, PMOS transistor, PMOS transistor. Why is they all laid out like that? Okay, let's assume that this transistor is this one. Okay, is that fine? Let's call that ABC. A, B, C. Okay, ABC already there. Why? Okay, for A transistor, PMOS transistor, the source terminal connected to VDD here, right? Right? And the source drain connected to the output. Drain is here. There's metal wire, the contact connected to output, right? Here. For B PMOS transistor, the source terminal is here, this source terminal, connected to VDD here, right? Source terminal, VDD. Drain terminal, connected to Y again, which is also drain terminal of A, okay, at the output. For C transistor, again, source terminal connected to VDD, drain terminal connected to output Y. So that's exactly 3 transistors connected in parallel. Right? And that's exactly the layout when we design the circuit using full custom design approach. You simply just try to draw a rectangular each layer and try to minimize each area. And also meeting the design rule requirement. And in this layout, it's 32 lambda by 40 lambda, 40 lambda height, and 32 lambda wide. Sometimes we might use state diagram, okay, because this is a real layout. The shape, the position, the height, so on and so forth. They are exactly the real circuit appearance. They are really, this is the real reflection of the circuit. But sometimes we don't want to spend too much time to draw the layout because we want to just come up with some idea and try to design the circuit. You might use this diagram. This diagram just give you the roughly the circuit, the connection, but not the real diameter, not the real dimension, not the real height, not the real width. Okay? Simply give you the connection roughly. Okay? So this is inverter. Okay? PMOS transistor, MOS transistor. Okay? The VDD ground, the metal, the polysilicon, right? Simply the circuit of this one, right? They are the same circuit, but a simplified form. And this is 3 input NAND gate, similar to this circuit, but it's going to be much easier to draw the figure for the 3 input NAND gate. Okay. It helps plan layout quickly. Need not to scale, not need to scale. For real layout, it's to scale, but not for triangle. Draw with color pencil or dry erase marker should be fine. So we can also see that the 3 MOS transistors, PMOS transistors are connected in parallel, right? For A transistor, one end to VDD, the other end to output. For B transistor, one end to VDD, the other end to output. For C transistor, one end to VDD, the other end for the output. So 3 transistors, one end for VDD, the other end for the output. They are all the same in parallel connection. And because of the design rule, you have to meet the design rule. And you can try to estimate the chip area. A wiring track is the space required for a wire. So here there are 2 metal wires. See? Metal wire. And for example, maybe it depends on the design rule, but for each particular process. But given the design rule provided in the textbook, this metal wire is 4 lambda wide. And spacing also is 4 lambda. So you can imagine that if there are 2 wires going cross, and one track is 8 lambda, including 4 lambda for metal and 4 lambda for spacing. If there are 2 tracks, again, 4 lambda for wire, 4 lambda for spacing. So one track takes about 8 lambda. And even for transistor, is a transistor, polysilicon over diffusion. It also consumes one wiring track because there is a metal here, including the contact, 4 lambda here, and 2 metal, it is 4 lambda spacing. So each transistor also consumes 8 lambda, corresponding to one track. Based on that, you can try to estimate the chip area for C diagram. Even C diagram, how do you know the real dimension? Well, based on the wiring track estimation, you probably can come up with some data, some measurement, some calculation that will reflect the real dimension. For example, before we give an example, besides the wire track, the wire spacing also given the design rule that wire must surround transistor by 6 lambda. Well, again, it depends on your process, specific process. But given the process, the design rule requires this 6 lambda in the design rule provided in the textbook. 6 lambda for this transistor. And between the transistor and the wear boundary, it is 6 lambda. And wear boundary and the PMOS transistor, it is 6 lambda. So totally 12 lambda between these two diffusion. Meaning PMOS transistor, MOS transistor, they should be apart. It is 12 lambda. And because of that, there could be one wire track going through between this and this. Between two transistors, one wiring track can be across, okay, in between. Equal 4 lambda here, and 4 lambda between metal, 4 lambda spacing. And then we can try to estimate the chip area for based on the state diagram. We are trying to estimate chip area by counting wiring track. And according to the previous discussion, each wiring track takes a lambda, right? Here we mentioned that each wiring track takes a lambda. 1 4 lambda for metal, 4 lambda for spacing. So can you try to estimate this diagram? It's a 3 input NAND gate again. Please tell me what is the estimated height and what is the estimated width. Can you try to calculate? How many wiring tracks here? In horizontal and in vertical. Let's try to vertical wiring track. How many tracks here? Okay, let's try to count. Here is one track, right? Metal. And this one can be aligned. And this is another track, wiring track, okay? Another wiring track, another wiring track. But totally, there are 4 wiring tracks times a lambda. Okay, so that's 32 lambda, right? For the width. How about height? Then we are counting horizontal wiring track. How many? One wiring track. And then what? Here is a wiring track. This PMOS transistor. This is metal, the contact. So this is a wiring track here. Here's one track, okay, one track. And then what else? Here is another track, another track, another track. So totally 5 wiring tracks and 10 lambda. So that's 40 lambda for the height. 40 lambda for height. And 32 lambda for the width. For this 3 input NAND gate, roughly attitude. But you might question that, well, after this metal wire, you don't need to have spacing here because below that there's no circuit. So you don't really need a lambda, only 4 lambda should be enough. Well, in reality, in real design, it cannot be just a circuit right there only. There must be some other circuit or the other surrounding. So you have to calculate both the metal and the spacing, which is a lambda for each track. Question? 40 lambda, height 32 lambda. Okay, example, how to design this circuit. The Boolean function y equals a or b or c and d and bar. So how do you design the circuit? You might want to start from the circuit figure first, and then step diagram. And then probably you don't have to worry about the real layout. You should be able to tell the real layout what should the real layout look like. So for this, all three AI meaning 3 input OR gate here, 3 input OR gate. A in AND gate. No number meaning 2 input. The basic AND gate, 2 input, so 2 is omitted. A means A2. And I means inverter, only 1 input, 1 output, so I means inverter here. So how do you design the circuit? Is a state diagram. But why? Or reverse it. Can you try to figure out what the circuit is? Based on the state diagram, can you derive the Boolean function? Okay, let's try to do that. First of all, look at, okay, maybe PMOS is easier here. First of all, let's try to design the circuit in symbolic form. A, B, C all together, so 3 and more in parallel, right? And then with D in series, well, D could be in the top or in the bottom, it doesn't matter. Understand? Let's assume that is here. That's going to be your product neighbor, right? How about pro-up neighbor? The output. As I mentioned before, the duality or the complement form. When these three in parallel, then it must be in series with PMOS transistor, right? PMOS transistor, the series, and connect with one PMOS transistor in parallel. So that's the circuit. And of course, the input for this is here, this here, this is here, interchangeably. Okay? And this PMOS transistor corresponds to this PMOS transistor. Okay, just the complement form. So that's the circuit, and based on the circuit, how do you draw the state diagram? But from this to this, probably a little bit harder, right? From here, you can try to imagine, or you can try to reason of the right to this circuit should be easy. So let's try to do that. Can you tell me why this circuit corresponds to this circuit? This state diagram corresponds to this circuit. You see that? PMOS transistor A, B, C here in series, right? A PMOS transistor, B PMOS transistor, C PMOS transistor. This indicates they are connected in series because diffusion, the yellow layer is the P diffusion, which is conductor, except the potential causes the diffusion it forms the transistor. So this three is in series. After that, you concatenate with D PMOS transistor in parallel. Why in parallel? Because D PMOS transistor, one end connected to VD, and one end to VDD. The other end here. Connect together. So that's exactly the circuit here, right? One end VDD, the other end to output. One end VDD, the other end output. One end VDD. So that's exactly the components. Is that clear? And for MO transistor network, 3 MO transistor connect in parallel. Well, this look more complex. And then with this MO transistor in series. Why? Do you see that? This is little A, B, C. Okay. Little A, C, D. A, B, C, D. Let's try to figure out. This MO transistor is here. One terminal, which is actually source terminal, connect to ground, right? Or actually, sorry, the yellow is wrong. D should be the top. Okay, let me draw the circuit here. D actually at the top. And then the 3 MO transistor. Then they are going to each other. And again, the ABC, A, B, C, and D. For this MO transistor A, source terminal ground, source terminal ground, okay? B, MO transistor, the source terminal ground, source terminal ground. Drain terminal connecting to where? Connecting to the source terminal of D here. This is here. This wire is here. Okay. And C, MO transistor, source terminal ground. Here, source terminal ground. Drain terminal is here. Okay, and then this actually connect to A, B, C. So that's this point. Connected to D MO transistor in series. For D MO transistor, one end is here, is right here. The other end, the other terminal, into output here. So that's exactly the same circuit. Okay, the symbolic circuit and the stick diagram circuit. Now the same thing. Well, let's can this kind of knowledge or experience can be learned from the practice. Okay? Simply look at more and more circuits like this. We can imagine given the circuit like that. You should be able to draw the stick diagram like this. Stick diagram. How to connect in parallel like this. Okay. Maybe not that easy to understand it immediately, but after you go through such design, several examples, you should be able to tell or even design by yourself the design or layout based on the circuit. Any question? You can also estimate the chip area. How many tracks here? For height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 track. And you might wonder why here are 2 tracks. Can they be existing in the same track? The answer is no, because this is another track, vertical track. So they cannot be overlapped or touched together. Okay? We still have to have spacing. For the horizontal, 1, is 6. For vertical, 1, and then 1. Then 1. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, they can be in the same track. And 5 track for the width. Question? Okay, that concludes this unit. We spent a lot of time. But these are very basic and very important stuff for the VLSI design. Any questions for the whole unit? Okay, let's continue. We are going to look at Unit 2. Unit 2 actually is just an example design, which is a CPU. We want to look at, given that you're trying to design a CPU, what you're going to do, what process that you are going through, based on cell-based design. For compressed chip like CPU, you might need to employ some design approach, like design partitioning. And given the mid-CPU process example, start from architecture design, then microarchitecture design from top to bottom. From the more abstract layer down to the physical layer. Logic design, circuit design. The basic component is logic gate or flip-flop. Circuit design, the basic circuit is the transistor. And still design the real material, the real device. And the chip design also include, after you design it, you fabricate, and then you package it, and then you test the chip whether or not it's working or not. So again, given the 4 input NOR gate, this is the circuit diagram. And again, for PMOS transistor, it's easy because NOR gate for problem level, they are in series. Simply A, B, C, D, 4 transistor connected in series. And for N network, they are connected in parallel. So how do you draw the circuit diagram? For this transistor, ground, output. 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 So each and every transistor, MOS transistor, one terminal, which is source terminal, connected to the ground, and drain terminal connected to the wire. So that's a parallel connection. This is by the way, just additional note, additional example from the previous unit. Coping with complexity. You are designing a complex chip. So how do you start? If the chip is too complex, you should try to divide and conquer. Okay? You probably learned that term before. Divide and conquer. When you design a complex program. So how do you design a system on chip? Many million transistors, or even many billion transistors. That's a lot. So don't try to do that by yourself for full company design. No way. going to take like 10 years. Or even it takes 10 or 100 of engineers. And actually, in industry, for example, in Intel, when they are designing like the 286, this time period, this timeline, when a team is working on 286, okay, there's a group devoted to designing the chip 286, the Intel chip, the 16-bit CPU. And that group probably takes like, I don't quite remember, but probably like 200, something like that. 200 engineers. Some engineers for designing circuit, some design engineers for the verification, to verify the design is correct. But totally, maybe 100 or 200 engineers working on one CPU. And this is the start of the design and the end of the design. But at the same time, the next generation, like 386, is going to start from here. And that's the end of the next generation CPU. Can you see the rule? It's not like after you finish 286, then we start to design 386. No. They should be overlapping with each other. Okay? In the middle, designing 286, there's going to be another group working on the next generation CPU starting from here. Maybe they could borrow some people from 286 group, a few, because they are involved designing 286. They got some experience, and that experience can be used in the next generation design. So the other group will get some of them, part of them, in the next CPU design project, and starting from the middle of the design period. And industry call that leaping frog approach.他们设计复杂晶片，有一代一代这样传承下去。像 Intel 设计286 CPU 的时候，还有一群大概100-200个人的工程师，做了一半之后呢，赶紧开始要规划下一代 new generation start from the middle design cycle, and also 而且一部分工程师呢将会跳到下一个阶段，这个新的 CPU 的设计，将可以累积一些经验传承。那当286结束设计之后，准备可以上市卖了，那正好是386中间点。And then 486 start from here. Typically, the same group for 286, they are going to design 486. Most of them will stay. Okay, so you can see that there are two tracks, a track here, a track here, designing the each generation of the CPU, and they are overlapped. That way, you can come up with the new generation product as soon as possible to the market. Okay, that's right away. We try to divide and conquer and employ structural design and design partitioning. Which is a basic idea, not only for hardware design but also for program design. What is structural design? There are several issues. Hierarchy, we try to divide and conquer. Just like you build a house, we start from the high level design. Okay, you need to have one like the living room and like 3 bedroom and 1 kitchen, so forth. Try to design the high level structure, high level organization of a house. Likewise, to design the CPU, you try to come up with the processor, the I/O, the memory, 3 major modules, and then go down the inside of each module recursively. In reality, try to reuse module wherever possible, because you don't want to start from scratch. 尽量不要从头设计起，有些是可以充分利用的复制，那尽量去复制它。That's why for service design is a standard cell library. You don't have to redesign the 2-input NAND gate, 3-input NOR gate, so on and so forth, because they are available in the library. You can repeatedly use that layout in your design to save time, to speed up your design process. Modularity, for each module, it should have well-formed interface, meaning you don't have to really understand the inside circuit. You don't have to look at the detailed design. For each module, it provides very clear interface. What signal for input, what signal for output. You know how to connect the module with the other module without knowing the detailed design inside the module. That's a good modularity. Treating like red box. Locality for both physical and temporal. What does it mean? For physical locality means that hopefully this module produce some data, they will be used by the memory module. Locally, meaning we try to calculate, compute something, and the result, hopefully, is used by the memory module. We don't like the idea that if the output is going to connect to a module far away, this is bad. Okay? Because it consumes chip area for the wiring. It also takes much longer delay. The chip performance is going to be going down. Okay? So try to have locating means that if you generate the data, you should consume that locally. Okay? What about temporal? Temporal locating means that after you generate the result, hopefully you can consume that right away. Try to use that as soon as possible, such that you don't have to stop, you don't have to accommodate the value for a period of time. That we call that temporal locality. After you generate the result, try to consume the data as soon as possible without to store the data. So 一般讲，the produce 像农产品一样，尽量在地化，当地生产的当地就吃掉它。像我们倾向于，你如果花莲本地所产的农产品，在the local produce in 花莲 they don't have to port to the other city, the other county, try to consume them nearby. This is good. Physical locating. For temporal locating, 尽量当长出来的农产品，马上吃掉它。As soon they are ripe, just eat them immediately. That's going to be fresh and temporal locating. Okay, so likewise, in chip design, we hope to have locating for trade design. Okay, let's think about it for today. Any question? Okay, so see you next week.
Physical 他刚刚画2 physical 什么意思？
就是不要接太远，那个情况下不会太远。
哦。等，去你。
接触怎么讲？基本上你要可以去那种，你要做10步之前，在先做里面的文件，
一层一层做。
对啊。原来刚才我就是先做。
对啊，我知道就是把它分别击破啊，我知道你刚才才可以。
Right. And the whole time is just to make sure that when the couples are even not changed, the real calculation is something. Those are complicated delay in the first delay, right? Those are people here. And then add it with the delay going through the middle circuit. Right? The second step. And then before
我想问他的这个 check 是什么意思？这边。
这个就是你的2条 wire 之间要有空隙嘛，它才不会有干扰或者什么。
所以这个线是什么？
那个是你的金属哦，然后接到你的 UND 或是连接各个电晶体的那个 terminal 的金属，就是线。
所以在这张图上面是会在哪里会画出来？
这个就是线啊，这个线，这个线，这个线，线。
所以为什么线跟线之间要有空隙？
因为design 如果只是要有足够的空间，才不会。
design 如果是第一堂课嘛？
就之前讲的，就是要有spacing，2条线之间要有空间。
哪里有写过？
啊？第一没有，这同一个 PPT 有讲。
上面吗？
上面。
哦，这个吗？
是啊，对啊。
主要是看颜色。对。
你跟我讲一下，你有感到进去？
基本上就是要有
2条线，就是它会有这个规则。
所以若就是2条线，两个金属或者是2个金属之间要有空隙，或者是这个是。
diffusion 就是它的那个 N 的那个 diffusion， 反正就是它的规格啊，它会制定说你的 polysilicon 要多宽，然后2个距离要多少。就是规格书的意思。他有考那个。
我知道，我不会写。
我也不会写。
我不会写。我也乱摆，看他要不要给我分。我就是不会给我分，然后乱写。没关系啊，现在知道就好了。
我是写这个，那我只是写说要留空隙。
我说越小越好，不然
越小
乱写。
那是拿来估算
不会给我分，不会给就算。
那因为每一条蓝色的
所以它的那为什么会有 metal 1跟 metal 2？
它跟隔壁的蓝色也要距离适当。
就是它有不同种的金属啊，然后每一种
那在这个里面
要多远？
diffusion 就是这个 N 位啊，是吗？
diffusion 是你的 N 的，
你
的 N 的材质的半导体啊，跟 P 型半导体。
从你这边来看的话，为什么你刚刚的问题是？
这是 N 还是 P？
是它的有问题。
N diffusion 跟 P diffusion 一个是 P 型。
我们说值的部分，它这边我们写它是用一个方法，一条，对不对？没有嘛？第2条，不是，只有4条，分的是5。那如果看值的话，就这一条嘛。红色不看，我看是蓝色的部分，所以1条、2条、3条、4条。那你 transistor 它的那个跟 diffusion 跟 metal 相接那边都算是 metal。 因为它没有经过，只要它有经过都算，这种公式。那可能来讲的话，上面
我知道，我想问，刚刚一开始这三个题目是说，第一个题目是说，如果有10的话，那它总共要多少？那个
只有那个
它塞，
它是有那个灰色相连在一起，它本来就是一个 track。
然后第二个，然后这个的答案是，
所以这条是一个是 track，因为它经过8点之间的，它的那个
13就是因为后态是可以被放在这里面，然后这是加0.5。好，希望我之后还可以记得它。然后它这边是什么 non-lapping track， 是这个在讲。
杠可以拿来非常
它的那个正传递是2个，
因为蓝色不能够满足它的
2个 clock 讯号的控制，
基本上其他
然后2个 clock 讯号之间它都有一个空间，
所以
它就可以避免那个 clock skew， 因为 clock skew 就是讯号差，就是讯号来的时间差产生的那个
光标这个
它有留空间，就是如果你的讯号差小于这个空间就没有关系。
就是指说它同时都没有 track 的话，就不会有这个问题，是吗？
同时都没有什么，就是一个快一个慢来，如果就是原本不是要同时吗？它不是又因为 delay 一个快一个慢，它如果慢的，就是它们2个相差的时间小于这个空间，就小于这一段时间的话就没有关系。就这样就可以预防那个。
会觉得太难吗？
那个
是英文不同，英文不会。你们如果听不懂在讲英文，你就提出一点意思。
小于这个空间，稍微记一下，等我一下。
如果看到你刚好哪一段听不懂英文的解释，就跟我讲，你就说再讲一遍，好不好？好，会。
所以2个 track 中间的，那我觉得不行，我觉得我没有很理解，我真的能背的，我真的能理解。然后